My house back home had a fireplace that always stood out to me. It was a bit too big and seemed to burn a bit too bright, always at the right temperature, and never seemed to dull. It always hinted at being something much more than a simple fireplace, but I was too young and blind to see, and curiosity at home was highly discouraged. When I was a child and misbehaved, my punishment was being forced to sit right in front. Look at how the wood burnt inside for about 2 hours straight, being as close as possible without getting too burnt. I sat crisscrossed, my eyes glued onto the burning wood that would slowly be consumed, in a sort of hypnotized state. There were small sparks of green that flickered around. I appeared right inside my parents' chimney, just as expected. I could tell I was there due to the smell of old leather and burnt wood lingering in the air, as well as the echoes of the fights happening in the room right next to us. "What do you mean she's off to Cambridge?" my father demanded to know. I peeked my head through the kitchen wall. "Well, Christopher, she's not here, is she?" my mother answered sarcastically. "I can see that, you stupid bitch!" I saw how my mother bit her nails, seemingly worried about my disappearance, or more so how this would make her look in front of her family who already judged her. It's not like her to just run away. "I'll knock her fucking teeth in once I catch her," my dad threatened. I took a step back. I knew he was serious when he used that tone, and I wasn't ready to fight my own father yet, not without knowing a few spells that could help me escape him. I knew they only had one advantage over me, the fact I was still, legally, underage. This would allow them to report me missing and search the area for me. "What do we do now? Should we report her as missing? She's still technically underage," my mother asked. "Her birthday is like..." My father checked the calendar. I had circled my birthday date. "Today?" "Today? It's not her birthday, is it?" "September 1st, 2004. "You mean to say we're not legally obligated to even have her here? Why are we even debating this?" My father slightly chuckled at the realization that I had just turned 18. Silence ruled the room for a few seconds, seemingly because they were thinking about what exactly to do. I thought they would break out in a fight again. Maybe my mother was against leaving me in Cambridge. But the way my father changed the topic surprised me. "I wish that fucking Dumbledore let me in Hogwarts so I wouldn't have to live this goddamn awful life that I have with a daughter who's only a disappointment," he spat, breaking the silence. My mother threw his newspaper right at his face, probably because she felt offended that he implied his life was horrible because of us two. It shocked me to see she didn't even question what Hogwarts was, almost as if she had known the entire time about my powers. "Well, I wish you had pulled out, you bloody imbecile. You think I wanted this life, to have to run away because my parents would kill me if I didn't get married? Bitch, I told you when I met you how this was all a one-time thing. But Alanza came, so now we've got to fucking deal with it like we've been doing the last 18 years. Talking about Alanza, I talked to the neighbours. Nobody has seen her. Must have snuck out last night through the window. It's not like her." "That bitch." "She'll come back. Where will she go? She hasn't got enough money to even rent a bike, nor does she know how to ride one." My mother laughed. It kind of stung how she made fun of the fact I was socially inept and couldn't do most normal things, as if they weren't the reason why. As if years of being forbidden to go outside without permission, no birthday gifts, and emotional trauma weren't the reason I was so strange to others. "I hope not. It feels nice not having to look at her goddamn awful face and remember that she ruined my life. To be honest, I hope a car has run her over and killed her. That way I don't have to do it myself." My mum chuckled. "Oh, shush. It's not entirely her fault you're not a wizard, and you know that." My mum said, But I do agree she has ruined everything, all of our chances. I just hope she doesn't show her face here ever again. We've done our part. Maybe we can just move on. My father never tried to hide his true feelings towards me. I was already used to hearing how embarrassing I was, or how I ruined his chances of being successful. I also knew my mother was not as cruel as my father, and in some twisted way I thought she liked me enough to want me back. But I was wrong. So very wrong. That was what broke me. That was what made me decide to never trust or return home again.
Alanza, you bloody idiot!
I felt someone tug on my robe's hood, pulling me back. I barely had any time to squeal since someone placed a hand on my mouth to avoid any sounds. I glanced up quickly, finding myself face to face with Professor Malfoy. He dragged me back to the fireplace and performed the transportation spell correctly, covering me in flue powder. "Diagon Alley!" he yelled. My mother and father heard him yell out that name, but did not have any time to react since we disappeared in a matter of seconds. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in the middle of a somewhat empty street corner. Malfoy grunted. "Pull a stunt like that again, and you'll be out of Hogwarts before you can even get a wand to your name, hear me?" I couldn't respond due to the knot in my throat. I just held up my head with my hands. I began to feel tears dripping down my cheeks and my breathing accelerating when I realised they never truly loved me. They loved the idea of having someone to hurt when they felt bad. I covered my face and began sobbing quietly. "Are you crying?" Malfoy asked. I didn't answer. I tried to hide the tears by glancing over my shoulder. Malfoy could have said something mean or tried to hurry me along, but he did something I would have never expected someone to do. "Forget about them, Alanza. Your mother is no more than a simple muggle trapped in a loveless marriage, and your father's no more than a squib who is jealous of his daughter. If they don't want you home, that's their problem." I dried my tears. "How do you know all that?" "You mean you didn't realise I was listening that whole time? I'm not deaf." "I'm so sorry," I muttered. "I just wanted to give them an explanation of why I was gone." Malfoy looked away, maybe to hide his empathic look and maintain the tough guy persona. He grunted. "Just forget about it. Let's go get your materials."